Hello folks, welcome to the channel. In today's video we're going to be taking a look at a Squier. It's a vintage modified Jaguar. We're going to be doing a setup on this thing, kind of talk a little bit about it and show you what's usually wrong with these when people bring them in, and see if we can make it any better. So move the camera around, get it set where you can see. This is a 2013, like I say, vintage modified. I think they started making these in 2012 again or whatever. Not sure how long they made them, but like I say, this is a 13. I know they made them through at least 15, so I'm not sure exactly the years on that. Rosewood fretboard, maple neck, not sure about the body wood. The two Jaguar pickups got the little metal teeth on each side. I'm not going to get into all the switching and everything it does that way. That's not really what we're about. Usually what happens with these things, and I'll try to get this in here where we can see, is the bridge. These bridges are notorious for working themselves down flush with the body. The screws back off. Even the new, like the classic Vibe, Jazzmasters, Jaguars, they're just bad to back down. So you have to take a little bit of Loctite, put on the threads, kind of get them to stay where they're supposed to. This bridge also rocks back and forth. And on this one, if you get it where you can see it, the saddles are kind of like almost like a piece of threaded rod. And the biggest complaint that people have is the strings want to slip back and forth on the saddles, moving, either dropping completely off, getting over close to one side. So a lot of people switch these out for the Mustang bridge, which is actually a better design. It has one slot in the middle that pretty well keeps your strings there. But these bridges will work. The problem is the brake angle. So you got to get this bridge up high enough to get a proper brake angle to have enough pressure on these saddles to keep these strings from moving. The problem people run into, let me get back away from this a little bit, is when they raise this up to correct that problem, then the action's way too high. So to fix that, we have to shim the neck in order to keep a proper action and keep a proper brake angle as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change strings, and we're going to use some 11 through 50 strings, which work better. This is a short scale, so they actually work better on these, I think. I like a heavier string, like tuned a half step down myself. So what I'm going to do is loosen these strings off a little bit. To where we can work this bridge a little bit and try to get it up to where we think it needs to be to get this right. And also, what we have that you can't see it, but down in each of these holes, there's a Allen head screw, a set screw. So you just have to turn it to raise the bridge. And therein lies the problem with them wanting to work themselves back down on their own. And then everything gets out of kilter. You're losing tune, your strings start slipping off the saddle. You're getting all kinds of frustrated. So we're going to get this thing up to where I feel like it's where it needs to be to get the proper angle. This bridge also, it also moves back and forth. Put it in here again where we can see. When you work the trim, the bridge actually moves back and forth. It pivots. It just sits in two holes and it moves. A lot of times the problems that people run into with tuning is this bridge will get worked down, and when they use the trim, the bridge will actually hit the body. When they come back up, it's moved. It's got out of intonation. The intonation will be off. Yeah, it's not the best. It's not the best design. I'm not going to defend it, but we've got our bridge kind of up where we think it needs to be, but our action's sky high. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a capo up here, pull the neck off, add a shim, utilizing these old strings as long as we can to get our setup as close as we can. So when we have our new strings on, we're not having to, burn a set of strings just to try to get set up. We're going to use these old strings to try to get close as we can to where we need to be. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and pop the neck off and add a shim or two to try to get this neck angle back to where we've got a livable action and also a proper break angle. Okay, done a quick little cleanup, kind of a cleaned the frets up a little bit, just a polish job on them real quick, cleaned and oiled the fretboard. No sharp ends or nothing on it. They could use round, the ends rounded off, stuff like that. The fretboard could be rolled a little, but this is kind of like a coin-operated car wash. If you want the premium deal, you got to put a few more coins in. But anyway, we got our bridge off. I'm going to try to show this thing up close. You can see the little screws here at the bottom. That's what adjusts your bridge height. It just sits down in these inserts, and it has that much movement back and forth. So what we're going to do, seeing as we got our bridge set pretty much where we think it needs to be, and hopefully it ain't moved, we're going to put just a drop of this on these threads, right where it goes in the bridge. Not that much. Okay, it don't take, a little bit of this works as good as a whole lot. A whole lot will really mess you up. Kind of like what I just put a whole lot on that one. You don't want it to where it won't, you don't want to lock it up to where it won't work at all. You just want to have something with some resistance. In fact, you want to use like the medium strength or light duty. Don't use the red stuff. You don't want to fix it where you can never get it off again, or you can adjust it. You'll strip out those little set screws, and then there you are. You will be getting a Mustang bridge then. So, like I said before, we're going to put some 11 through 50 Dario strings on it, and see where we can go with it from there. Okay, I put in a decent shim. StewMac sells shims that are good for these. You can get like a pack of 3. They're not cheap, but they're good to put in. It's a full pocket shim. Fender, a lot of other companies use a piece of sandpaper. It's whatever you got. Nothing that's soft, it compresses, that's not going to work. So we've tilted the neck back by raising, putting a shim in the neck pocket. So now we've still got a decent height on our bridge to have a proper break angle, but we've also got a good string action of 2 millimeters on the low E and 1.5 on the high. So that's got us set up in the ballpark. So we can do a little tweaking if we need to. Hadn't checked the frets on this to check the level to see where they're at as far as any fretting out or whatever. I can work on that, as need be. So now I'm going to go ahead, pull the strings, put the new, clean the fretboard frets, do all that kind of stuff. Then while I've got the strings off, we'll work on this bridge. So let me go ahead and get the strings off, get the fretboard kind of straight, then we'll come back, we'll put a little Loctite on the bridge and put it back together. Okay guys, that's got the strings on, got it tuned initially, got a plastic nut up here, the G strings a little bit, maybe it's a little bit banjo-y. Probably going to stick a bone nut on there, get rid of that plastic nut. It's pretty wore out, looks like it's actually cracked, so probably going to do that to it. Well, in fact, I know I will. But that's got our bridge set up there where it needs to be. Something that you'll probably have to do if your guitar was intonated properly when the bridge was too far down. Once you raise it up to the proper height, then you will have to you may have to set your intonation. So if it's sharp, you move the saddle to the back of the guitar. If it's flat, you move it forward. But make sure that your bridge is centered in, center way. It ain't tilted forward or back. Make sure it's, make sure that it's in the right position when you do that. But if you have that bridge up, you'll also have to adjust, but probably have to adjust your pickup height. I'm not going to get into all that in this video. We're going to try to keep it short. YouTube likes 10-minute videos. And if all you're talking about is Miley Cyrus's, costume malfunction, you probably don't need 10 minutes. To show somebody how to set up a guitar takes a little while. So I'm trying to keep this short, but that's basically the problem with these. Shim the neck. It is trial and error sometimes to get it right, but get that bridge up. Use some type of thread locker, medium duty or light duty, to keep that bridge from moving. Keep it from screwing itself back down toward the body. Like I say, check your intonation, get that straight. Other than that, man, this is a pretty sweet little guitar. I mean, it's, it sounds good, which I can't hardly get a hold of it here. It's trying to slide. I polished it a little bit, but anyway, that's kind of that on that guitar. If you got any questions on it, on the video, just ask me in the comments. If there's something I didn't cover you want me to cover, I'll try to come back and do that. But that's just as quick as I can make it. But that's the problem with these Jazzmasters and Jaguars. Not sure about the USA Fenders. They're made in Mexico, but the Squiers have a problem with that bridge getting too, working its way down, getting too close. It does it gradually, You may think you've got tuner issues when it's just that bridge going down. So anyway, that's about it for that. Little sneak peek here. Project coming up. I got the stainless steel frets put in this neck. Got the inlays put in. You know, abalone inlays. Got medium wide stainless frets. Got to finish, you know, filing the edges. Gonna be sweet. That's the nitro neck. That's the shell pink strap that's coming up. So anyway, that's gonna be coming up. That and a whole lot more. So anyway, I really appreciate all my subscribers. I've got a lot of videos out there, so you know, go back and look at some of them. If you got a question about something, I probably got a video on it. Been doing this for a good while. So if you hadn't subscribed, consider it. Give me a thumbs up if you feel like it. And don't say every minute. Guys, until the next time, see you.